Welcome back, everyone. It's here. And today I've got some r/BestOf for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading you the posts, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This post was collected by DreckCaterpillar77, and their tagline is, "Satan is not a pogo stick." The original OP is "Throwaway Didn't Do It," posted to r/relationships October 13th, 2015. My 23 female, boyfriend 25 male, of 3 years says he knows I cheated on him while doing study abroad. But I didn't. My boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years. We're long distance. We're from the same hometown, but he goes to school in another state, so we see each other over summer and most holidays. This past summer, I did study abroad in Peru for 2 months. It was one of the most amazing experiences, and I had so much fun. I didn't have a phone or regular internet, so I communicated with email every couple of days. I told my boyfriend this would be the case before leaving, and he said it was okay. When I got back, he was excited to see me, and I was excited to see him. But I was very tired and honestly fell asleep within minutes of first seeing him. I'd literally gotten off the plane just an hour before. When I woke up, he seemed pissed. I asked what was up, and he just started asking how my trip was. I told him it was fun, told him about my friends, etc. Then, all of a sudden, he says, "I know you cheated on me." At this point, I'm confused. I just said, "What?" And he said, "I know you did. It's okay. It's whatever." Well, I didn't cheat on him. There were only 4 other guys on the trip. 2 had girlfriends, 1 was incredibly gay, and the only single straight one was hooking up with this other girl the whole time. I told him this, and he just kept saying he knew I cheated on him. I asked people on the trip, and nobody said anything to him. They're all just as confused as me. I asked my boyfriend why he thinks I did, and he said, "I just know." The weird thing is that he's saying he's okay with it, but still keeps bringing it up that I cheated on him. It's pissing me off because I didn't. I had a lot of opportunities to, and never even got close to taking them. I told him the only guy I did anything close with was my gay friend, and all we did was dance at a club together. He started saying, "Well, I don't know if it was one of your friends or a local." What the hell, dude? I don't know what to do. He just keeps saying I cheated, but I didn't. He also says he doesn't care, but brings it up. I can't figure out how to convince him otherwise, aside from the fact this is a totally ridiculous idea he has anyway. We had literally no time to even talk to local people there enough to hook up with them because we were busy every day and all day doing things. Is this breakup worthy? I love him, but have no idea why he'd be doing this. Too long didn't read, did study abroad for 2 months, boyfriend is convinced I cheated, but says he doesn't care. But I did not cheat. Edit. Thank you so much to all who commented. Definitely a lot to think about. I'm going to reply to some people and confront my boyfriend later tonight. Alright everyone, put your guesses in the comments as to what's actually going on here. My personal guess is that he cheated on her while she was away and assumes that she probably did the same, so he's trying to coax out a confession so that way he can be like, "Well, it's okay because I cheated on you too." Essentially doing some Olympic level projecting. Let's find out if I'm right. Relevant comments. Miss Patrick Sharp. Ask your boyfriend for the evidence he has to support his claim. I honestly think he cheated on you and is projecting his cheating onto you and hopes you'll confess. Fuck! This is exactly what I said! God damn it! I promise I didn't pre-read. I promise. I honestly think he cheated on you and is projecting his cheating onto you and hopes you'll confess so he can break up with you and not tell you he cheated and avoid being a giant asshole for cheating. Okay, a little different than my theory, but still pretty close. OP responds, "Honestly, I've been wondering this myself. Maybe he's saying he doesn't care and he's gonna drop the bomb that he did and hope I don't care. The only thing is that, I can't imagine how he'd cheat. He has no female friends, and neither do any of his male friends. He's kind of weird and nerdy." User genetic instability comments, "If he did, he's going to use this against you in some way, i.e., I forgive you and it's okay, but you cheated on me, so my cheating is okay/justified. You should forgive me for cheating. Do this thing for me to make up for it. I'm such a great person for forgiving you, And you're just a cheater. He's actively looking for reasons to convince himself or you that you were unfaithful. Quote, I just know, end quote, is a full-on asshole thing to say. Does he do this in other ways? You're having an argument and he decides his way is better. His opinions are more right and he just knows. That would make this a deal breaker for me. I don't know about you. Lofi responds, oh, wow, he totally does do that in arguments, honestly. He always believes he's right and that the only way he'll stop arguing is if he gets tired of doing it, basically. And if he is saying he knows I did but forgives me as a way to get out of cheating, then LOL, because that won't work at all. I'm gonna confront him in about an hour. Update, October 15th, 2015, 2 days later. Okay, so I wanted to thank everyone for all of the advice. I really appreciate it that so many people cared to give their ideas. A lot of people thought cheating, but some suggested he was just insecure. Last night, I asked him to come over. I should have mentioned in the original post that the original event actually happened in mid-August. When it first happened, after enough, I said, listen, you're pissing me off. Stop saying that I did something I didn't do. And he just said, okay, sorry, but then proceeded to occasionally bring it up since August until now. Also, we are long distance, kind of. He goes to school in another state, but is from my hometown. He's been there the past few days due to family issues. So when he was over, I asked him why he feels so strongly I cheated. But at first he tried to brush it off. I kept pressing him, and finally he said, I just don't feel like you could go somewhere like that with a bunch of guys and nothing would happen. I told him, well, you go to Florida for most of the year for school with a bunch of girls. So are you saying that you don't think I could do it because you've done something? Well, he flew off the handle and freaked out. Started yelling that he was so pissed I'd even think to accuse him of cheating. That he never had and never will. That I knew about any time a girl came onto him too strong because he'd tell me about it. Which is true. I just sat there and watched him and then finally asked, well, how is it ridiculous for me to ask you that, but you think it's ridiculous that I even argue that I never cheated? He just said that he knows me and he knows what I do. Finally, I just got pissed and said that if he can't trust me and thinks so lowly of me, we probably shouldn't be together. He started going off then, saying, see, I knew you cheated. I got fed up with the crazy and told him to go. He asked if I was breaking up with him, and I said no. I said no because I figured if I said yes, he wouldn't leave. But I felt pretty sure that's what I wanted to do. After he left, called up his brother, who I am sometimes close to, and told him the story. He was surprised by how crazy he was, but also told me that my boyfriend's last girlfriend, his first, had cheated on him, so he probably just thinks that of everyone now. He told me that my boyfriend has some massive anger issues and has been known to get physical with people/objects when angry. He also told me about a bunch of other crazy things my boyfriend has done, including running away from home as a 20-year-old when he didn't get his way, cussing out his mom and telling her to die when she took his brother's side over a petty argument, etc. Some other minor things were that my boyfriend has apparently stated he never wants to move out of his parents' house and continue making YouTube videos for the rest of his life. That, and how stupid my boyfriend acted to me over me doing literally nothing, made me decide I wanted to end it. I called up my boyfriend and told him it's over. I'm pretty sad about it. I do love him, but I don't want to deal with crazy dick. Plus, it's pretty lame we've been together 3 years and he still thinks he wants to live with his parents forever. I've asked him a million times what he wants to do when he's out of college. He just says, I don't know. Too Long Didn't Read accused me more and more of the same thing. He didn't cheat, probably, but is crazy as hell. So we broke up. Edit, thank you everyone for the comments. Just, wow. I'm trying to reply to most, but I am reading everything. People are asking how I never noticed these red flags. I kind of did, but wasn't sure. We were long distance, which I think often left me confused. A lot of times I'd wonder if his actions were just because we were far. Hearing his brother say those things just confirmed that's not the case. Also, a lot of you were upset I called his ex crazy and referenced her cocaine use as an example. I actually knew her personally. She was a pathological liar as well as being actually clinically insane, and did a lot of cocaine, and was like 15 or 16 at the time. Throwing the word crazy around was rude of me, and of course, cocaine use doesn't mean crazy. I'm a bit jaded when it comes to her because she used to be my friend, but has done some pretty messed up stuff. So sorry if I came off as insensitive and for tossing those words around like that. Final comments. User Long Wang Big Balls comments. Ran away when he was 20? Flew off the handle when you turned the tables? Wants to live with his parents forever? He sounds like a precious little flower that needs to sort himself out before committing to a relationship. You did the right thing. Lofi responds, I know. The running away from home at 20 thing was hilarious to me. His brother and I both laughed. I mean, if you're 20, you don't need to run away from home. You're an adult. Spectra88 comments, when you called him and told him it was over, how did he act? Lofi responds, flipped out, same shit. I cheated, but also sobbing and begging me not to, but overall, hostile towards me and his words and actions. The thing is, it doesn't matter at this point in time if he cheated or not. This man is just a ton of red flags, or was. Hopefully in the decades since this post, he's since grown up and actually changed and developed as a person, because, oh my god, running away at 20 because you didn't get your way? Good god. He's also exhibiting a ton of just controlling and emotionally immature behaviors, from, the accusation of cheating, but then when the tables are flipped, or even just being told, hey, when you say that I cheated on you when I didn't, that upsets me. Apparently that's going too far or unacceptable and continues to be brought up, despite the conversation being had. And the evidence is just, I know you. Like, if I was in a relationship where my significant other had told me, like, I know you and obviously you cheated on me, I would definitely have some reconsiderations about the direction and longevity of that relationship. Like, the person you know is someone while they're on a study abroad trip is gonna cheat on you in the relationship and you know that for a fact? That's how low you think of me? Okay. This post was collected by Direct Caterpillar 77, and their tagline is, Satan is not a pogo stick. The regional OP is Svamp89, posted to r/DK Brevcase. Editor's note, this is translated from Danish. Oh boy. Posted January 6th, 2025. I think someone is playing with me. This is going to sound a little crazy, but I need some advice anyway. Just want to start by saying that I've never had any problems with paranoia, delusions, or psychosis, and I don't believe in ghosts or anything like that. I'm also 35 years old now, so it's unlikely that those type of mental issues would arise at such a late age. That being said, I feel like I'm going crazy. I'm pretty sure someone moves small things in my apartment when I'm not home. I live alone, and no one, as far as I know, has a key to my apartment. I have 2 keys, and both are in my possession. I have checked several times. I have tried putting glasses and plates on the table as a test before I go to work, and have taken pictures of them to compare with pictures when I get home. So far, I have not been successful in proving anything. The most obvious thing I have noticed that have moved are a plate I had breakfast on that day. Moved maybe 30 centimeters from where I put it. Candles have moved from the center of the coffee table to the edge of the table. And a shampoo bottle has moved from one shelf to another that I never used to store shampoo on. There are several other things I have noticed, but they're very small things that maybe not, could be me, now that I'm so aware of where everything is. My ex-boyfriend had the key to my apartment for many years before we broke up 2 years ago. We didn't fall out, and he has a new girlfriend now, so I'm 99% sure it's not him. He also works in Copenhagen now several days a week, while I live in Jutland. I have asked him on days when things have moved, where he was, and he's been in Copenhagen all of those days. He shared his location on Messenger, so that was enough. What would you do? I have no evidence of anything, and in principle, I could have been sleepwalking or something and just not noticed the changes until I got back home from work. I occasionally sleepwalked as a child, but as far as I know, it hasn't happened in maybe 25 years. It's starting to get pretty creepy. Top comments. GFXJG comments. There's a well-known Reddit thread that sounds very similar to what you describe. It turned out that the person had severe carbon monoxide poisoning that created paranoia and delusions. I would strongly advise you see if you can find somewhere else to sleep for the next few nights, and then buy a detector. They're available at, Bahua's? And the like. Maybe it's not, maybe you're just forgetful, but if it's carbon monoxide, you're messing with your life. OP responds, "Thanks, I just googled it. I'm staying with my parents tonight and then I'll buy a carbon monoxide detector tomorrow, just in case." Black Seal comments, "If that doesn't work, then you can buy a wildlife camera and set it up. It takes pictures when there's movement, so you can see if you're doing it in your sleep or what." Smiley face. Update, January 22nd, 2025. Hi again, everyone. A lot has happened since I wrote the post. I figured out what's up with the situation. I bought 2 cameras and set one up in the living room/kitchen and one in the entrance hall. It turns out my apartment actually has 3 keys. And not 2, as I thought. My neighbor, also 35 years old, apparently looked after the previous tenant's cat occasionally and had a key to their apartment. She didn't return it after they moved out of what is now my apartment. We were pretty good friends to start with. When I moved in, she became more and more clingy to the extent that she would call up to 15 times a day and talk for over 4 hours in total per day. I couldn't leave the apartment without her wanting to know where I was going, and she would get angry if I didn't respond immediately to her messages if I was asleep or busy. There was so much drama surrounding her that I couldn't take it anymore and chose to simply cut off contact. She has respected that for the most part, I thought. It turns out that she has let herself into my apartment and gone through my cupboards and drawers, and apparently deliberately moved my things around to make me paranoid. She can hear when I go in and out of my apartment because her entrance is only 5 meters from mine. That's why she always knew when I wasn't home, even though I worked shifting hours. I confronted her and said that I would call the police. She panicked and contacted her father, who came over to me. He's a doctor and said that she has borderline personality disorder and refuses treatment because she doesn't think she's wrong. He said she's impulsive, outwardly reacting, and often feels a strong urge to revenge herself on people she feels have treated her unfairly or let her down. This has apparently been a theme throughout her life with almost all of her relationships, both romantic and friendships. He practically begged me not to call the police and said that he would do everything he can to prevent anything similar from happening again. I got him to pay for a locksmith to change the lock, and I said that I would report her to the housing association, who would then report her to the police if she didn't voluntarily move out of the apartment as soon as possible, because I don't want her as a neighbor anymore. They both accepted that, and she has now chosen to move back to her parents at the end of February. So the ending was relatively good for me, albeit very chaotic. What do you do when you have someone who refuses to be medicated and has an extremely vengeful personality with a warped view of reality? That's a really dangerous combination, and we already saw the result of it, of this person breaking into OP's apartment and messing with their things, which is actually a pretty big fear of mine. I've got like a massive fear of someone like living in my home that I'm unaware of, or someone being in my home and not stealing anything, just observing and messing with things and just kind of coming in and out so they're undetected, but they keep doing so. That's like a massive fear of mine. This post was collected by Direct Caterpillar 77, and their tagline is, of course, Satan is not a pogo stick. The original OP is Chuck It Away, posted to r/relationships November 25th, 2015. Me, 23 male, with my girlfriend, 22 female of 4 years. I think she's cheating on me with our roommate. My girlfriend and I have always had a lot of fun together. She's my best friend and the absolute love of my life. I plan to propose this Christmas, already have her father's blessing. Recently, I noticed her acting differently with our roommate, who is also one of my oldest friends. He's known for being a womanizer, always has different girls leaving in the same clothes they had the night before. I came home from work and they were quietly whispering in the kitchen. It sounded like a serious discussion, and when the door closed, I swear I heard her say, "Shh, he's home." And when I walked into the room, they shot apart. It could have been paranoia on my part, I guess. But then, last night, when we were all sat watching some stupid reality show that she loves, she was on her phone the entire time. His phone buzzed, and I saw her name on his screen. They were texting while we were all in the same room. That can't be good, can it? How do I bring this up? Do I confront her? Him? Do I need to sneak for evidence? Too long didn't read, girlfriend and roommate were texting while in the same room. Tried to deny it and hide it from me. I smell a rat. I mean, when's your birthday? I guess it is also in late November, so it could also be Christmas. Anyways, relevant comments. Inspector Gadget with no vowels except for the I. Really? Your mind jumped to cheating? Cause mine jumped to Christmas surprise. User Mr. Shush comments. You've got circumstantial evidence here. It certainly could be bad, but it could also be nothing. Christmas is coming up. Maybe she's working on a surprise gift for you? Talk to her. A ruined surprise is a small price to pay for preserving what sounds like a good friendship. User double dick your check comments. It's a Christmas surprise. Surprise, I'm cheating on you. Deleted user comments. Why is the first thing that comes to mind is that she's being unfaithful to you with the roommate? I think that area needs some more exploration. Has she cheated before? How does she treat you? Has anything changed from how she used to treat you? It is a really big jump to accuse a significant other of cheating on you, especially with no background information. I've acted in a similar way with my boyfriend's male friends, 2 of which were roommates, and I have never cheated on my boyfriend. I was acting secretively because I had a surprise for him and they were in on it. Update. November 27th, 2015, 2 days later. Thank you to anyone who replied with advice, etc. I really appreciate it. As one Redditor rightly guessed, I have been cheated on before. It was one of those, after I found out and ended it. It turns out, some of my friends had noticed and never bothered to tell me, so now I worry I look for the signs a bit too much. She's never given me a reason to not trust her until this whole roommate thing came about. I'd like to clear up a few points. When he first moved in, she didn't approve of his promiscuous ways. She was worried about lots of different girls having access to our home when we're not there, and while she made her feelings clear, they still remained civil. Stayed out of each other's way, small talk, etc. He told her his only rule for sleeping around is that everyone involved had to be single. He's a strong believer of bro code, which makes this harder to swallow for me. She has never made me feel the need to snoop. She charges her phone on my nightstand instead of her own because hers is full of books and a lamp. If she had something to hide, she wouldn't leave her stuff so out in the open. Would she? After the other night, she left her phone on my nightstand as usual and pretty much went straight to sleep. I admit, I tried to look. Her password had changed, which shocked me a lot. She only has a password to stop from butt dialing people. Everyone knew her password. She's a very open book about stuff. I got so angry, I couldn't sleep. This is another red flag, right? But I couldn't exactly wake her and demand her new password, could I? Without giving it all away? I fumed for ages. Got about 2 hours of sleep. Last night is where everything went wrong. She messaged me, saying she was on her way home and she'd meet me there. Did I want anything specific for tea? I said steak. She said you can pick up this and this from the store on your way home. I said yes, see you later. Still angry and hurt over my failed snooping attempt the night before. I get to the store after work, knowing she was home, and when I went to pick up what she had asked for, they had ran out. So I decided to ring her to see if there was any alternative, or to just leave it. There was no answer. I ring again. No answer. My stomach was in knots at this point. I ring my roommate. No answer. Stomach doing backflips. I rang the house phone. No answer. So something in me snapped, and I rang over and over, let it constantly ring until one of them picked up. She eventually answers, sounding out of breath. Another red flag to me. I was so angry at this point, I snapped at her, saying, "Where the fuck have you been?" She claims to have been in the shower. I ask where the fuck he is. She claims to not know. The house was empty when she got home. I don't believe her, and say I'll be home in 20. I gave her an incorrect time, so if they were up to something, I'd catch them in the act. I was home within 5, and when I got there, she had got back into the shower. He wasn't home. Her phone was on the table, so I guessed her password again and again until I disabled her phone. I was so angry I didn't even care. I banged on the bathroom door and told her to get out. We need to talk. She came out wrapped in a towel. eyes worried. I demanded to know what was going on. She said she had no idea what I was on about. I told her to unlock her phone, because I know they're up to something. She started to get upset and begged me not to do this. She said I was ruining everything. Sounded like an admission to me, so I called her a slut and said if she didn't show me her phone right now, I was leaving. She started crying, unlocked her phone and threw it at me, then went to our bedroom and shut the door. Instead of following, I started reading. Well, Reddit, half of you were right. It was a Christmas surprise. Our roommate works at a sports shop. She had arranged for me to get a whole new football kit. Not just for me, but for my entire Sunday League team. She had been asking the guys their sizes and messaging them to my roommate so he can keep them to one side for her at the store. I felt so sick. This amazing girl has been trying to do something for me that I really needed. I'm captain of the Sunday League team and I've been moaning about the cost of a new kit, so she's using her own money to do this for me. And I've just called her a slut and accused her of sleeping with our roommate. I heard her crying from our bedroom, so I knocked and started apologizing. Fuck it, I even got upset and started crying. I can't believe I caused this. She wouldn't answer the door, kept telling me to fuck off. Then she used the phone in our room to ring her dad. He came for her, asked no questions on why she was upset, just gave me the look that makes my ass leak. She packed a bag and she's gone back to her parents' place. I broke down and confessed I'd been planning on proposing. I don't know what I expected it to do, but she got really angry and told me after 4 years together, if I can jump to an extreme conclusion so quickly, then I'm not ready to be married. I don't know her at all. I clearly don't trust her, and there's no hope for us. I've been blowing up her phone since, until she either blocked me or turned it off. Well, Reddit, I let my anger get the best of me, and now I've lost the best thing that ever happened to me. She told my roommate too, and he came home pissed at me as well. He said he can't believe I think he would do that to me. She left me. Roommate is pissed at me. Safe to say, I've ruined Christmas and lost my incredible girl. Any advice how to fix this? I don't want to end it over something so fucked up on my part. Too long didn't read, girlfriend wasn't cheating, I called her a she left me, Christmas is ruined. Final comments. You can call me Cal comments. Quote, after 4 years together, if I can jump to an extreme conclusion so quickly that I'm not ready to be married. I don't know her at all, I clearly don't trust her, and there's no hope for us. End quote. Buddy, I'm sorry, but I'm fairly certain your relationship is screwed beyond all repair. Whether or not she takes you back, you really need to look into getting some therapy for yourself. Frankly, it wasn't fair of you to judge your girlfriend based on your ex's mistakes, and you will destroy many more relationships in the future due to your lack of trust and your inability to resolve conflict fairly without name-calling. A deleted user responds to this comment. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, I am thankful that I am not dating OP. User Heroine of Time comments. Holy shit, you have some serious anger issues, dude. I don't think there's any fixing this. You called her a for trying to surprise you with an extremely thoughtful gift. If she was the one posting this, I'd be telling her to run like hell. You need to accept that you fucked up big time. Leave her alone and get some goddamn therapy. The thing is, you could have totally solved this entire situation by just talking with her. You could have come home, sat down, and just had a conversation with her and been blunt about it. Talked about the fact that your previous history with your ex gave you some insecurities and there's a few things right now that has you worried, and just asking her, hey, what's going on? I know you wouldn't do this, but I just need to put my mind at ease. Yeah, it's still going to hurt that she's going to hear from you that you're worried that she might be cheating on you, but that is a far better alternative than whatever the fuck we just saw here with you having a meltdown in the middle of the night because you couldn't guess her password and then stewing on it and getting only 2 hours of sleep and then having a complete crash out the next day. 4 years down the drain because you couldn't communicate. You couldn't use logic or see reasoning. I also probably should ask because my ADHD ass jumps right towards be direct with communication and just make sure it's all on the table so everything can be talked about. But I also know that some people probably wouldn't appreciate that, so if you were in a boat like this and your partner was suspicious of your activities, how would you want them to approach the situation? Would you just want them to be upfront with you and just be like, hey, I've noticed that you and roommate, have been having whispered conversations and texting each other while in the same room. Just curious what's going on. Hell, even in that version, you're not even making an accusation of cheating, you're just asking for more information. But still, there might be moments in any relationship where questions might be asked because things just might seem a little out of line or things are lining up in a weird way and you just need to double check for your own sanity. In my mind, I would appreciate this kind of communication, and this is, in my eyes, a healthier dynamic of being able to actually have these difficult conversations and talking with each other, even if it might make you uncomfortable, but in the end, the goal is to strengthen the relationship and strengthen the trust and have those difficult conversations and get past them. That's just me, though, and maybe my way of approaching communication is not healthy. Who knows? Let me know in the comments what you think and how you would want to approach situations like this in a relationship. I mean, hell, I remember once upon a time I mentioned the fact of, having anxiety and just wanting to put the brain to rest about potential fears that your partner might be cheating on you was seen as, oh, well, you're just not ready for a relationship then. And perhaps I misunderstood, but some comments seem to imply that even just having that kind of anxiety around the relationship means that you shouldn't have a relationship. I'm definitely going to be very curious to see how the conversation surrounding this evolves in the comment section. I just act that you approach it with politeness and not saying that I'm a disappointment. Don't forget, this is brought to you by GamerSupps. Use code ODDS at checkout. It's basically a caffeine powder that you put in your water, and I actually really like it. I use this on a daily basis. Don't forget that every purchase you make using code ODDS directly supports the channel. And if you want a personal recommendation from me, I would either recommend the Soda Pressing Bear or Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are currently my favorite flavors. And as a note, once we sell a certain amount of stuff, I get my own flavor and my own cup. And you all know I'm gonna choose some degenerate shit that's gonna make their PR team squirm. My goal is to make them regret partnering with me. So please, use code ODDS at checkout to make my dream come true of making a PR team squirm.